Hey guys, and welcome to my channel, The Tesla Guy. So this is going to be the first video on this channel, and this is going to be a video where I'll be discussing with you guys, maybe daily or fairly often throughout the week, Tesla news, updates, things like that. But I'm also going to be discussing technical analysis because I want to combine the two. Most channels out there usually do one or the other, and I thought I want to do both of them because I love technical analysis and I love Tesla. If you're not aware of who I am or whatever, I used to do League of Legends videos. I've started doing and covering Tesla, or really following Tesla for the past few years. Absolutely love him. By far my biggest position, period. And I just absolutely love almost everything about Tesla, essentially. So I'm a huge fan, huge bull. And I thought, you know what, this is a passion of mine, so let's talk about Tesla and everything in general related to Tesla. So being the first video, this is going to be a very special way to start things off because we're going to be discussing the numbers that just came in for Q4 and essentially the full year of 2021. So for Q4, you can see that they just released their investors relation page, and we'll talk about later how this affects or can affect the stock price with technical analysis and everything. Of course, do your own research. This isn't financial advice, all that stuff. Of course, get that out of the way. But anyway, so you can see here in the Q4, we achieved production of more than 305,000 vehicles and deliveries of over 308,000, which implies that, of course, they had a bunch of vehicles, on the side ready to be delivered as well from maybe previous quarters. And in 2021, they delivered an amazing 936,000 vehicles, which is just mind-boggling. I mean, to be fair, the most mind-boggling thing to me is the fact that they beat essentially some of the most bullish consensus that I've seen from Twitter analysts, around Tesla. Completely blew Wall Street out of the park. That's not even worth discussing at this point, which we will, but completely just blew away everything out of the water. Like, unbelievable. Above 300,000 was supposed to be just like amazing, like literally a Christmas present essentially, and we beat even that, slightly above that as well, which is crazy. So that's very impressive. I mean, by far it's like unbelievable, right? So completely just blowing that out of the water, as you can see here. So overall production was 930,000 for the year, and deliveries was just over 936,000. Absolutely impressive, unbelievable. 308 deliveries for the quarter, 0.6. It really just, I don't know, you can't even make this up. This is just unbelievable, right? This is just completely destroying everything. So you can see here, pretty interesting post by Gary Black. If you don't follow him, make sure you do, of course. So for the fiscal year 21, the deliveries of 936,172 came within 0.2% of Elon's 10B51 sale plan that he started like a few months ago, back in September or something like that. That's, he's been selling, which just recently ended, by the way, which is great. Where he pretty much consistently sold specific amount of shares, being 934,091 shares. A very specific number, which was part of the automated selling rather. As you can see in this list right here, which is insanely close to the numbers that they actually ended up delivering for the quarter, which is, I don't know, it's like maybe it's a coincidence, maybe it's like some interesting forecasting. Just thought that was an interesting thing to point out. Now, this is the part that's interesting. So usually when you see these kind of numbers, delivery numbers for a quarter, for a year, whatever, you want to compare them to analysts and what people are saying. Specifically, you want to compare them to Wall Street analysts because those are the, the big boys. Those are the ones with the money. Those are the ones that will really, truly move the price up or down. And if we can beat those numbers and those expectations, well, that's insanely bullish. So Wall Street the consensus was around 265,000 for the quarter. And I mean, I think it's quite obvious that we not only beat that, we demolished that. Like, it just wasn't even close. Just completely eliminated that out of the water. Just impressive. Crazy stuff, right? So this is insanely bullish. Wall Street is going to be, everyone on Wall Street that hasn't been already insanely bullish on Tesla, even the bulls are probably already thinking that this is even better than they expected. But like, Gary Black is already, pretty damn bullish for a Wall Street analyst, right? And even he was quite behind, in all honesty. So this is going to be something that's going to be crazy because as analysts start realizing what this really means, especially for next quarter, next year, the years forward, throughout the whole decade, they're going to start increasing their forecasts. And as they increase their forecasts, well, that usually means that they're more bullish on the stock. And if they're more bullish on the stock, they buy more shares. And if they buy more shares, well, I think we all know where the stock price is going, right? So even the most bullish person that I personally have seen, Troy Teslak on Twitter, for Tesla's delivery stuff, even he was under, and his was insanely bullish. He pretty much had 300,000, 299. He probably didn't think it would beat the 300 number, but even he was under, which is insane. So overall, some incredible numbers. You can see the comparison of the quarter 2021 numbers over here, all added up roughly, give or take. from me, Kevin, as well. Now, one thing I like to look at as well is, of course, the options flow from whales and how they're, overall thinking and playing. So this is the end of Friday, right? This is how it closed on Friday. So you can see overall, it seems like for the premiums, the Bears were slightly in control from unusual whales, of course. By the way, I have a link to it down below if you want to try it out yourself. Really, really cool app and a website. You can see that the Bulls definitely lost a little bit to the Bears. This is on $100,000 plus premiums. You can see over here, right? So pretty much anything that equaled a premium of minimum $100,000, it'll show me here. Or we can look at it even on the more kind of, true whale size, which is $1 million plus premium, which gives you just an idea of what the big boys are thinking and playing. Again, this is something that you want to take into account with, a bunch of other information. You shouldn't only rely on this, but it's definitely something nice to look at as well. But you can see here, it's, it's pretty split down the middle, right? It's not super one way or the other. I think the Bears had a slight advantage, but, nothing too crazy. It's definitely kind of in between. No one really knew how the delivery numbers would go unless you, of course, really follow Tesla. I thought they would beat. I was extremely confident they would beat Wall Street's estimates, but the fact that they beat them this hard is incredible. Very, very impressive. Now, to end off, let's, of course, talk about some technical analysis. Now, I love technical analysis. Tesla's the only company I follow fundamentally. I truly follow fundamentally. It's the only company I care to follow fundamentally. Other than that, I'm a huge technical analysis person, so I thought I would, give you guys my thought on that, of course, as well. So you can see the Friday, we ended up closing and selling off towards the day, but that wasn't a Tesla related thing, right? A lot of the indexes like, QQQ, SPY, especially SPY, completely just plummeted off of this, like the last 10 minutes of the day, which was, just probably like, profit taking, whatever, the final day of the year. It's not super unexpected, right? And Tesla, of course, got hit by that pretty hard here too. So I ended up buying a few, like 20 more shares around here. But, taking a look at the daily, so this is what we really want to care about, right? This is what we want to see how it's going to move, how it's looking throughout the past like few weeks, days, months even. So you can see after the Hertz deal that happened, right, Tesla completely just exploded up. The RSI was sitting at pretty ridiculous levels, sitting at a 94 roughly, which is like pretty unheard of, and it actually maintained it a lot longer than I expected. And then of course, when something moves up this parabolically, like some form of catalyst or something, some profit taking, something will happen, and it will push the price down. Like that's just natural. Things can't just run up like this and just maintain that. It has to cool off. It has to do something. In this case, it happens to be profit taking on top of course, Elon saying that he's going to start doing that 10% sale, which started putting pressure downwards on the stock. And what it ended up doing was creating a nice, pretty textbook looking bull flag, right? This is a bull flag. People confuse bull flags and bull pennants. Bull pennant is if it was, for instance, let's say something like this, right? This line I just drew right here. Let me just make it bigger so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So if this was the line instead, this will be a bull pennant. But that's not what we're in. We're in a bull flag, right? So you can see usually bull flags resolve in a 5 move, sometimes 7, but in this case it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is the 5. Now I'll be surprised. Some people were predicting Tesla was going to come down and touch it for the 6th time here. I actually don't think it will, and I mean these delivery numbers honestly confirm that in my opinion. So the worst case I see, by the way, for Fibonacci levels, I was expecting to see it come down to around 1030. At worst case scenario would have been 935. That was like worst case scenario. I thought it would at least revisit around the 1030s. It didn't. It somehow actually held fairly well around this 1064 level, though it did break under. Now, normally, if there was no delivery numbers coming out like we just had, I would have been like extremely confident we would have pulled back to somewhere in this middle of the thousands to low thousands range. I would have been extremely confident. But with these kind of delivery numbers, I don't even want to say to sell the news because Tesla hasn't really been spiking or really going up too crazy over here. It's been kind of, in this little range, it's pretty range bound in all honesty. So it's hard to say it's even going to be a sell the news on Monday or this coming week. Again, I still wouldn't be surprised if it's like a quick little, maybe some kind of, price being driven down early, maybe it makes people some, panic sell a little bit or something like that. And I still wouldn't be super surprised to revisit 1030 very quickly. But then if it ever reaches this general area, I expect the price to pretty much shoot up instantly. That is my prediction. So either we see it pull back to this 38.2 fib level, which is a really common retracement level, mainly because we did break under this 23.6, or these delivery numbers are just so insanely amazing that it just says, you know what? I don't care about any of these fundamental technical analysis. I don't care about any of these levels. We're just going straight up. That is also very possible. You can see it is up 0.5% post market. So that is my essential analysis on that. So pretty much, again, worst case scenario, absolute like train wreck scenario is I see it pulling back all the way to 935. Do I see that happening? No. The chances of that are like 5%, maybe at 10 at most. most likely scenario is we either pull back to 1030 or we just essentially shoot up straight from this. Now, what we want to see, the most important part or thing to see from this is going to be to break through this resistance of the top of the channel of this bull flag. This is what we want to break. The second we get a daily candle close above this, I flip super duper bullish. Like right now I'm bullish, but man, if we close above this right here, this little red candle, or sorry, red line, insanely bullish. That is like where things really start getting interesting in my opinion. So we can also take a quick look over here. I'll take away extended hours for now. On the 1 hour chart, this gives us a little bit of a better idea on how it moves in a shorter time frame, maybe the next day or 2 or 3 even, right? So what you can look at here is it's essentially forming like a mini bull flag within the bull flag, right? You can kind of draw the line, something like this, right, give or take. And then the bottom one should be something, give or take, like this. Right, so it's kind of making its own little bull flag little situation over here, right? You can see, which is why I was saying that I wouldn't be surprised to see it. Like if you extend this down, like it pretty much coincides right with this 1030-ish level. So again, that's why I personally wouldn't be surprised if it's like a quick sell the news or like a bear trap kind of, you know, maybe Monday morning, as it's like a profit taking kind of, you know, bear trap sell the news situation, bounces right off this 1030 rough area, and I think from there we just go straight up. So if it gets here, I'm buying more, just FYI. If not, then I guess we're just riding with what we have. So that's essentially my analysis. That's my update on Tesla, guys. My first video. Let me know what you think about it down below. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm very excited to start this channel. I'm very excited to kind of go on this journey with you guys. I love Tesla. I love technical analysis, and I hope I can give you guys a lot of good insight and give you, you know, what you want to hear, essentially, hopefully. But if you want to hear any other technical analysis on any other charts or tickers, let me know down below in the comments. But either way, thank you all so much for watching. Hope to see you guys for the next one. But until then, hope you have a good weekend. Have a good rest of the 2020 year that just started. So until then, thanks for watching. Peace.